Test, 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 test. Can I get a 5x5 in chat if you can hear me? You should be able to hear me. Folks, we've got a lot going on. Got a lot going on. Poland's on alert. We've had that P8 plane that I'm showing on screen here experienced jamming and has called Mayday earlier. Yep, it's heating up just on schedule in Poland and Kaliningrad Retro Spark. Also, folks, I have uploaded a video on here of how to join our Discord. And I'm going to post a link to this into chat here on both of you. They're very concerned with Kaliningrad. Look at this, folks. And we've also got not two balloons, but two drones up down here. They're coming and going off the radar. Here's a helicopter heading over. We've got this one up here looking over. We've also had a 135 up. See, we're going to go playback. Start playback. We're going to go back. Let's turn these filters on. Military. We're going to go back and look at this a minute. There's that P8. There it is getting refilled. But they was supposedly, there it is. There's your 135 up. Where's this C5 going? Ooh, check out that too. That P8 is looking for, you know what? Russian submarines. Look at that. And it's low. It's flying at 2,800 feet. This is all today. I am sorry that the stream is late. Very crappy, Johnson. Not even, it's pennies. That's why we need you all to take and join our memberships over here on Coffee Club. It's the only thing is keeping us going, is the memberships on Coffee Club. Or just go over here and get us some coffee. It would be greatly, greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. And once you have become a member, check out the YouTube short that I just posted. That is how to get into Discord and what Discord consists of. We really need your all's help, folks. And over on Rumble, throw us up on a device and let us run. The more we have watching on, see, Rumble works different than YouTube. Rumble works in like a viewer count situation. The more viewers you've got watching, the higher up in the list you are, and the more people can find you. So let us run over on Rumble. There's no reason why we can't get 20 or 30 people watching on Rumble. I don't understand why we are so low on views. There's EAMs, there's constant news over on Rumble. Flight radar, we've got earthquakes. There's everything that you need to know on Rumble on our stream. But yeah, go over, sign up on Coffee Club here. Become a member, $5 a month. And if you will watch that short that I just posted, that I posted in chat, that's everything that is in our Discord. Mover Musher done a really, really, really good video on that. But yeah, folks, go over and get us some coffee. Become a member. We need your help. Really, really need your help. I went and done a small stump job yesterday. It wasn't really small. It was 8 stumps. No, 9. It was 9 stumps. And I can't move today. I've had to put off my mowing that I do on Fridays till tomorrow. The reason why the news stream is late today is my alarm, I set it for 10 this morning. Alarm went off. I couldn't move. Had to crawl to the bathroom. Laid back down. I thought I had it reset for an hour later, and it didn't go off. So I woke up about 12:45 today. And I have managed to crawl myself over here to my chair and sit down. That's as far as I've been. I don't know what I want to do. I really need your all's help. Yeah, Nutball. Yep, you are a member there, Mike. Liz, go over and sign up. Braille Beast, I'm pretty sure you are a member already. Or just go over to Rumble and become a monthly supporter on Rumble. It doesn't get you anything, but it does put a tag out of the end of your name. That helps also. It's down the bottom of the chat. You can also gift subscribers on Rumble. Just like we done on the old YouTube channel. That would help us also. And it would help everybody else out. I do not have a way on Rumble that I have found to be able to do a members only post. I wish Rumble had a way to do a members only post or a members only video to where I could share the Discord link on Rumble. But I have yet to figure out how to do that. Oh. Oh, I can. Okay, I will get that set up. I can actually go to the locals page. To make a members only or subscribers only post, you creators use Rumble local community platform locals. Go to your community page, click the community post button, write your message and attach media, and toggle the supporters only. Switch it on before publishing. Okay. Yeah, we can get that set up. I did not know we could do that for Rumble. So Rumble can act like the old YouTube account. You can go over to Rumble, become a monthly supporter on Rumble, and get access to our Discord too, instead of just Coffee Club. That might help a lot of people here. So I will be fixing that up here in a little bit. I did not know I could do that. And I will do a little video tutorial on how to access that. But yeah, look at all of this going on around Kaliningrad today, or Kaliningrad, however you want to pronounce it. They've had a very, 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 very busy day. NATO knows. We know what's fixing to happen. The Russians are fixing to go through the Swampy Gap. That's what's fixing to happen. The Gap is on the menu. Here's our U.S. Treasury Secretary saying the Strait is never going back to the way it was because the Iranians have used or tried to use it as a choke point. What we are going to see over the next 2 years, the Strait is going to become irreverent. No, it is not. Not going to become irreverent. You have no idea what you're talking about. Also, NATO media, not NATO media, Russian media. This is big. This is the main reason why I went ahead and went live. Russian media reports that NATO was involved in direct strikes on Russia and have obtained documentary evidence. Here is the false flag that I have been talking about. It has now happened. And just a second, I have a phone call. Sorry, I had a phone call. But yeah, folks. Well, Creekwalker, it's not that we believe Russia. It's the fact that this is being said in Russia. We know that NATO is not behind direct strikes on Russia. Russia is going to use this as a false flag. This is the false flags that been talking about. That way, Russia can invade the Baltics. And as you can see here on the bottom right-hand side, NATO is very concerned over something. We've got sub hunters, another sub hunter coming down. Except this one has been converted to like an ISR flight. We've got 135s. We got tankers. We got a C5 going into the Baltics. Hang on a second, folks. I'm getting a phone call.
Russia is claiming that NATO has attacked them. Bricks News, Duramax just sent it to me. That's explaining a lot of what we are seeing right now. Yeah, nobody's supposed to like that. That's supposed to wake everybody up. So now we know what's going on. Russia has accused NATO of attacking Russia. I repeat, Russia has accused NATO of attacking Russia. Correct. Russia is claiming that NATO has attacked them. Yeah, I got to get to the choppa sound on here. Racer's got a lot of work to do to get us back up. Most likely Russia's going to do something stupid, is what's going to happen now. It isn't right, AR. It isn't. Well, we don't know if it's a false flag. We haven't seen any of the evidence that they're claiming. I mean, now there was one guy who said that he had proof, but we haven't been able to verify that yet. But this is his Russian proof. That's the evidence that the Russians have put forth so far in regards to this attack against Russia from NATO. So this is the evidence that they have put forward so far. We're waiting to see if they have something more substantial or constitutional, but that's what we had. You guys need to share this out. Yeah, that's okay. I don't care if y'all heard Duramax. The plane squawked about 4 hours ago, 3 hours ago. How long have I been alive? 2 hours, 3 hours ago. They haven't said what way that NATO attacked. We haven't seen that yet. NATO's not required to do anything. That's what people need to. You have a screenshots of espionage. Okay. Well, no, they said NATO did it. NATO. Like as in NATO is a different country. It's like a whole different country. Sure it is. Correct. Putin is definitely under stress at home. Share this out, folks. Share this out on all of your social media. We got to get this out there. The world's got to know what's going on. No, the plane was damaged. You don't squawk 7,700 because somebody targeted you. You squawk 7,700 because somebody hit you. Well, Enforcer is not a source. Enforcer runs a romper room and will teach you how to play Red Rover. Enforcer is not a source. I don't get sources. I don't use former juvenile delinquents with no military experience as a news source. I'm sorry, that's not good policy.
Echo, Alpha, Whiskey, Mike, Bravo, Juliet, Lima, Alpha.
They live with their parents.
6, Alpha, Juliet, India, Golf, 2, Zulu, Whiskey, Kilo, Tango, 4, I say again, Tango, Mike, 2.
All right, folks. I see we got a EAM coming in. All right, I am back for a minute. Let's see here. I'm a little bit loud. Let me fix that. That should be better. But yeah, this is the false flags that I've been talking about is now happening. Russian media says that NATO was involved in direct strikes on Russia. See, the Kremlin, this is how they push a narrative. The Kremlin is the arm, should I say, that tells the Russian media mouth what's to do. So now the Russian media is saying that they have evidence that NATO was involved in direct strikes on Russia, which what that is now setting up the information space that hey, we're going to have to respond to NATO. And that goes with the rhetoric that is being said about the Baltics. See, they've done came up with the what was that People's Republic up in Estonia? That what is that? Ducks, help me out here a minute. It's the People's Republic they've came up with up in the tip of Estonia, where Estonia gets most of its power from, and where the rare earth magnet mine is that produces the high output drone motors magnets that Russia desperately needs. What is the name of that spot? Banarva. Yeah. So it's this little place right up here. It's called the Narva People's Republic. This came out in the Russian information space back in, it's been a few months ago. But this big area in here, this is where they're digging these rare earth magnets from. You see all of this? Yeah. This is where they load the ore onto the train cars. As you can see, the ore on the train cars. They've also got a big um, area up here somewhere. I can't remember where it's at, but it's up here somewhere that they do most of the mining for the power plants in Estonia that feeds the power plants. This is a big wind farm here. I'm pretty sure this one. Look at all this, folks. I think this one is an underground outfit. And this is their spoil pile here. But I'm not. Don't hold me to that because I'm not 100% sure on that. Because right here, well, here's a conveyor system. What's left of it? This may be an old mine here. I'm not for sure where the entrance will be underground at this one, but this one's definitely an open pit mine here. I do think. Now, I could be wrong, and it could be an underground system also. But this is where these rare earth magnets are mined from. That kind of looks like a tower. You know what I'm talking about, to the open to an underground mine. That's what they call them, the headways or whatever. No, Gray Fawn, we're looking at these underground and above ground mines up here. This is where there's a big rare earth magnet mine up here in this area. And this is also where most of Latvia's power is generated. Not Latvia, but Estonia's power. We're kind of looking at all of this. See, this is these are these two big mines up here. This one right here looks to be underground, definitely, because right where was I looking at? Right here. You can see this, and you've got conveyors coming out of this over to here. But I'm not for sure. I think this is underground here. Look at that old drag line. But yeah, I was just showing you rare earth mines. They do, yeah, Estonia. They mine this mine has not just one rare earth magnet, it's got two. It's got your typical rare earth magnets, and then it's got your rare earth magnets that you use for high output drone motors. And that kind of tells you why Russia wants this, because they need them for drones. Y'all help us out here. Go over there to that Buy Me a Coffee link if you are not signed up yet. And I will show you. Here is a link to how to get signed up and what our Discord consists of. Click on that link. Check our Discord out. Um, everybody that joins really enjoys it. And it's kind of close. It's like a network. You will be notified when something big happens. U.S. Okay, moving on from this for right now. We're going to pull this up here, and I want to see where that C5 goes. Now, this was back this morning, all of this activity. The P8 that is down here right now getting refueled has just went back home. It done a bunch of stuff up in here. Here's about the Strait of Hormuz. You remember how this administration said, we don't depend on anything through that strait. We don't need it. Well, folks, U.S. oil imports from Saudi Arabia has fell to zero. Yeah, you heard that right. Zero in July. The first time in 40 years. U.S. refineries was buying more than 800,000 barrels of Saudi Arabia oil a day. This huge decline is the result of Iran's Strait of Hormuz control closure, combined with Yemen's Houthi-Saudi maritime blockade, which have cut off Saudi Arabia's crude exports through the region. So, yep, 800,000 barrels a day of Saudi oil are no longer coming to the U.S. for the first time in 40 years. The U.S. Senate has now passed the Lindsey Graham Sanctioning Russia and Iran Act by a vote of 86 to 11. The bill now heads to the House, which returns after the August recess. This would be able to put 100% tariffs on the five largest buyers of Russian crude oil or natural gas. It's also going to put a 500% tariff on direct Russian imports and impose primary sanctions targeting Putin, his inner circle, banks, state energy projects, and the shadow fleet of tankers. It also extends the Iran sanctions through 2031. And I'm going to go ahead and say this again. Russian media is now saying that NATO was directly involved in direct strikes on Russia, and they have obtained evidence. So get ready for the false flag, and that's the reason why all these flights are up right now today around the strait, not the strait, but the Swanky Gap. Oh, sorry. Somebody was knocking. By the time I crawled to the door, they was gone. No, they have not, Grayfon. Assessments indicate that Saudi Arabia has burned through nearly 86% of its 2,800 PAC-3 interceptors within the first 38 days of combat, leaving Saudi Arabia with only about 400 interceptors left. In April, other Gulf nations have experienced comparable depletion rates. Caught on tape, a Republican finally admits what they have been denying for months. Rick Scott. Republicans are going to have to cut your Social Security and Medicare, as well as any programs you care about. We don't do it, or people are. Here you go. Here's him live saying it. Or people are they're thinking the way that Ron is saying that you can't cut, you can't cut, you can't cut. And that's all great. Then you're not worried about any program you care about because Medicare's going bankrupt, Social Security's going bankrupt. Inflation can't go away, interest rates can't come down. So my belief is it's all gonna. We're gonna have to do this. It's good. Are we gonna do it this year? Or are we gonna do it next year? And if we don't do it, or so, folks, because these people that has led the country for so many years here, they have run the piggy bank dry. And all this money that you have now paid in over your lifetime, you're not going to see a dime of it because they're going to be cutting your Social Security, Medicare, as well as any program you care about. Yeah, pretty much agree, Tom. We're going to be lobbing stones. And like they said, World War III will be fought with, um, I forget how that saying goes, but the next war will be fought with stick and stones. But yep, you're going to lose your Social Security, Medicare, and any program that you care about. The best thing for you to do is start putting some money back into an account. I'm not giving financial advice here, YouTube. Instead of all this money you're paying in Social Security, start putting some back and then put it into a high interest account. And you will end up with more money than what you will be getting for Social Security. It kind of looks like they're a home user. Oh, we're done in the Ukraine versus Russia. That's been happening for the last 4 years. And if you want to ask me, we've been in World War III for the last few years anyway. Stuff don't happen overnight. Hey, now listen to this. Over 100,000 Wi-Fi routers across the globe was just discovered shipping straight out of the factory with hidden backdoor that phones home to servers in China every 35 seconds. I'm looking to see. It's in 20 models of Chinese-made routers. Let's see here. This is from the Japanese cybersecurity, and of course, I got to subscribe to see more. Let's see if somebody. One of them is TP Link. Let me ask Grok here. What is the routers? So if you have these routers, Wi-Fi routers, you need to get rid of them. I am trying to get them here. Well, it's ZBT Link, and these are the 20 effective router models. I'm going to post this in chat. You all can um, save this and then check. If you have a ZBT P or whatever, ZBT Wi-Fi router, a ZBT Link, if any of these models right here model numbers fit your router, but as a ZBT Link router, get rid of it. Also, there is other brands, TP Link, and the best thing to do is get if you have a Chinese router, get rid of it and buy one that's made in Japan or the US, preferably a US router. But these models right here from ZBT Link or whatever it is have been phoning home to servers in China every 35 seconds. The backdoor relies on a modified open source Tor called RCTL running with full root privileges, while distinguishing itself as a standard Linux kernel process. The moment the router connects to the internet, it opens unencrypted, unauthenticated remote access directly to the command servers on Albania cloud infrastructure in Shanghai and Xinjiang. ZBT Link is claiming the code was intended for after sales maintenance, but it's phoning the servers in China every 35 seconds. Yep, Collie, and that's why we are up Poop Creek without a paddle. We have no industry left over here to support a wartime effort. All right, folks, I'm going to let you listen in for just a minute with Lee. The other half just walked in the door.
2, Mike, Tango.
Let's see here. Is he talking? He is not. I'm going to restart it right here and let you listen to the
Aircraft,
first
and we're
part
going
of
to
it.
bring them in here
Be
so
right
you can
back.
see. Now, this aircraft right here, this is an RC-135 that was flying a surveillance flight path over Lithuania, and it came down onto the bottom side of Kaliningrad in Poland, and upon doing so, they declared an emergency and made a beeline back to the UK. Now, as you can see, we've got a U.S. Army helicopter over here. Or excuse me, that's the wrong one. It'll be here later. But there's a U.S. Army helicopter flying over Lithuania. We're going to show you that. There's 3 drones down here. They've been mapping all of this area out. There's definitely stuff going on. I need to send this out over the network, but I wanted to get this out and up and going here so that if anything happens while we're live, we'll have it captured here. So let me go here and get this for you guys and send it out. What's going on? I need to send it. Yeah, so hit that thumbs up, folks. Share us out. All right, so we'll get that out. Get this out to the members here. Emergency alert, link in the all call. Did that come out? Emergency alert, link in the all call. Yeah, he's been looping back, but watch what happens here. When he comes around to the bottom side down here, he turns bright red and starts squawking 7,700 and hauled ass home. So we've got something going on, and there's multiple aircraft over here. As you will see as this plays out, you're going to see more and more people or aircraft flying in this area here. So what we're watching, and we're going to put all 4 of them up here for you. What we're watching bottom right-hand corner is live. This is a US P-8 operating out off of the coast of Kaliningrad. A P-8 is a P-8 Poseidon. It's a submarine hunter. And they've been flying here along the south side of Kaliningrad, getting intel and flying out here. The fact is that when you look over here at this aircraft, it was flying there first, and after it left, the P-8 went in to take over its job. So this is persistent surveillance that we're seeing here this morning in and around Kaliningrad. This is the most activity we have seen around Kaliningrad, and look at all of this mapping that the Poles are doing. They are mapping everything here south of the border here, and they're getting serious. Look at all the drones. There's 5 drones up at one time here mapping what the mapping their territory in preparation for a possible attack or invasion by the Ruskies. Yeah, I hadn't seen all of them with the drones like I had today, though, Mark. This is getting absolutely crazy. So here he comes. He's coming all the way around to get a complete loop of Kaliningrad. And when he gets over here to the southwest side, all of a sudden, he turns red and runs home. And then the P-8 shows up. Oh, so all right. So the Poles are really concerned since they were running 7 drones. I was on the road last week and I couldn't follow all of this. So I appreciate you letting me know. So this is actually getting hotter by the minute, is what we're seeing here. Literally getting hotter by the minute. Now watch. You're going to see this RC-135W rivet joint. This is a surveillance aircraft. It's got radars on it, communications, you name it, cameras, all kinds of stuff. So he flies around over here on the southwest corner of Kaliningrad, and all of a sudden he goes red and goes home. All right, Mark, I appreciate you keeping close tabs, buddy, because we're getting closer. We've been telling people that they are getting set up to do something, and well, some people don't want to believe that, but the facts are the facts. You can see what we're doing. You can see what they're doing. We've been tracking this buildup here. They've been doing this buildup now for 12 years, and now they're putting drone nets over all of their equipment, infrastructure, and things of that nature in Kaliningrad. And the question is, if you're not planning on going to war, why are you doing that? That's the question. Oh, okay. One in St. Petersburg. Okay. Appreciate you letting me know. All right. So you see he's hauling ass out of there now. And here comes the P-8. So I think these two are going to do a dance here. Let's see. Sure enough. So he's going to get refueled there. And who is this? That's another Poseidon. What? And then that's the C5. All right, well, welcome aboard. So, yeah, this is all happening as we speak, folks. This is where they are in real time with all of the drones up. And we're going to map it all back over here so you can see every single one of the flight paths of what's going on over there. Who dat? Okay, that's the P8 that was up here flying. Okay, and then the other P8 is going to come up here and take his place. Yeah, looks like it's getting serious now, folks. Find it interesting that RC-135, as soon as it got over here to the southern end of Kaliningrad, broke off. See that? Just broke off and then got its course back. And it's making a beeline. See that? There's no turns. They're flying straight. So something happened. Well, the Russians have been planning on invading Poland for years, and they're massing troops on the border, and the Polish have seen it, and they're putting in anti-tank ditches. They're putting in dragon's teeth. They're putting in minefields. They're putting in anti-tank ditches, firing positions, trenches, so as that they can fire on tanks and personnel coming across. The Polish are doing a huge job of building stuff along their southern border. Yeah, it pretty much means that some people are preparing for war, that's for sure. So most of the time when people prepare for war like they are right now, they go to war. I wouldn't say we all go to war, but something's happening, that's for sure. Let's get you a quad view up here so you can see what else is going on. So we're still watching what's going on over the U.S. The drones flying over Ukraine up here and inbound into Ukraine. P-8 flying out over the Baltic as we speak. And this is what was going on over Kaliningrad. So as you can see, the 135 flew out, the P-8 came in. You can see that right here. Let's go to that. The P-8 came in, and now the P-8 is flying here a little further away from Kaliningrad than the 135 was. See that? It's game on. No, it doesn't sound good. What do you mean 30 to 40% of NATO would defend, the rest will be bluff? I don't understand what you mean by that. Each country is entitled to do whatever it is that they want to do. Telegraph newspaper today stated that Russia could test NATO's resolve in a matter of weeks. Could this be an intertwined lead? Yes, absolutely. Look, lies his ass off, or Lavrov, whatever you want to call him, has already said that Russia is planning on testing NATO with little green men. Lavrov flat out said, we don't believe that NATO is a cohesive organization and that NATO will not defend the Baltics. And we're willing to test that theory with little green men. That's exactly what he said. We showed the interview. Who remembers us showing the interview of Lavrov, or lies his ass off, saying that they were going to test the resolve. Some of you do, I'm sure. You're correct. Some NATO countries don't have much of a military, but others have overwhelming firepower. And at this point in time, so much of Russia has gotten their derriere kicked that, and I'm going to have to come up with, let's see, you got antonyms and synonyms. I'm going to have to come up with other antonyms for my colorful metaphors because, well, this particular platform is upset at the salty vocabulary that I profess. My response is,
you can't handle the truth.
well, we're going to see. We're going to find out, is what we're going to see. Well, what you have to know, that's a different story. Iran is not a NATO problem. So, you know, since Iran is not a Iran problem or a NATO problem, they're not going to respond. All right, Mark. Yeah, they're doing a lot of stuff. That's right. Break out the thesaurus. I don't have a thesaurus. I got a T-Rex that sits on my dash, though. All right, so I think we need to get some EAMs up here because we got the possibility of some fecal matter impacting the air handling device, and we need to be paying close attention here. Okay, left audio, right audio. Okay, we should be good. Yeah, so far, I don't listen to Zero Hedge. They're wrong more than they're right, in my opinion. Yes, could definitely be a very busy weekend. So hit the thumbs up, share this out. Your beagle comes running when he hears Lee on the TV. My beagle used to do that too anytime I spoke. I had a 13-inch register. Did you catch the article I sent earlier on X with sat images of Russian Pacific Fleet at base with nets on? You sent that to X, Mark. I haven't had a chance to go through. Last night was not a good night for me. Absolutely, George. Send it to me, Easy.
Hi, folks. I am back. I'm sorry about that. No, I had to go visit with the other half just a minute. She just got home. Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and Turkey has signed a defense agreement against the black backdrop of regional instability. Does anybody have any questions about what's going on? We've got a Ukrainian drone attack ongoing in Russia with about 310 drones. Mount Etna has erupted. Volcanic alert warning for aviation has been raised to a maximum level. Flights have been suspended to Konacha Airport. I think this is in. I'm not for sure where this was at. Where this is at. The last eruption was in January, but this one is bigger. I think this is down here in these island chain, if I am not mistaken. Let's see here. Etna. It's in Italian. Italy. So it's over here somewhere. Let's see here. It's in Skillisy. I can't pronounce it. Let's see here. Where is Skillisy at? I'm not for sure where at in Italy this thing is, but it's pretty good size eruption, folks. I'll post a link here to this. You all can go check it out. This is a video of the eruption. We got another. This is, like I said, this in the bottom corner over here is a replay of today's flights. So here's another drone that's just popped up. This was at 1700 Universal Time, UTC. And that C5 that I was wondering where it was going to, it went into Finland. So a lot of stuff just got moved into Finland. C5s are huge. You can fit whole houses in the back of them. Iran has recovered a largely intact MQ-9 Reaper and an Israel Hermes 900. RGC engineers are expected to examine the capture systems, study their technologies, and reverse engineer the key components to help develop advanced drone models for themselves. So, folks, like I've said, we need some kind of device on these things that will self-destroy them to where these foreign countries can't get their hands on our technology. And it's ridiculous that we don't have some type of device when this thing crashes that will automatically go poof and send it into about 200,000 pieces. It's ridiculous. We've got another EAM coming in. Uh, 1632. Let's see here. Let's see about. Okay, yeah, that has over horizon radar has quit, so I can turn on the EAMs again. Now we got static. Up, EAM. Now, folks, these EAMs are off the charts today. They've all just started all of a sudden. After this, I have got a big news story. All signs are pointing towards the total and imminent collapse of the United States housing markets. What is about to happen will make 2008 look like nothing. The largest mortgage lender in the United States, United Wholesale Mortgage, fell to an all-time low after suffering the largest drop in history. And I will show you all this. Let me pull up this because I want to show you all this drop. Look at this, folks. Absolutely crazy. Foofed. Straight down. And went from 2 to 1.2. I'm guessing that's percentage or something. But it went from 2 to 1.2. And you can see here, it started about May. This is the largest drop in history. Like I've said, and like I will say again here, what we are fixing to see, you will be eating your dandelions out of your front yard to keep from starving to death. It's going to be worse than the 1930s. Except it's not going to be just the U.S. It's going to be the entire world. I need to get there and hold my corn later. But I will not be doing that today anyway. 2 in a row. Hey, Tony. I'm showing you on screen right now the largest mortgage lender in the United States, United Wholesale Mortgage, fell to an all-time low after suffering its largest drop in history. We're looking at a total and imminent collapse of the United States housing market. So, if you've got some money, you're fixing to be able to buy land very, very cheap. Reporter. Trump says a lot of people are saying I'm one of the greatest presidents ever. When I see polls on the economy, I should have 150%, not 100%, because this is the golden age of America. Reporter said no one is saying that. And then he got very, very peed off. Trump did.
And not just talking about AI. AI, yes, but I was president on the Democrat. They have horrible leading what it was never. I think. Thank you very much. People are starting.
We'll see. 89 days. We'll see if they.
It's going to be.
But of course, we know the Senate has passed the Senator Lindsey Graham sanction bill. USS Abraham Lincoln. Awesome, Tony. I'd give anything to live in an area like that, but I would want to have at least about 10 acres. That way I could have orchards and and gardens and greenhouses and chickens and kind of self-sustaining. Now the old place down there, when I lived with family, we've got 22 acres or 24. I can't remember. I think it's about 24 acres. The USS Abraham Lincoln is in its ninth month at sea. 208 days without a port visit. 5 straight months of combat operations. Moldy showers. No soap. Broken toilets. Crew members running on 2 days off in 7 months. No plan for how to rotate ships. No accurate supplies to defend the airspace around its own bases. And the strain on service members and their family is building week by week. I find this ridiculous. Absolutely uncalled for. The biggest military, the biggest superpower on the planet of Earth, has moldy showers, no soap, and broken toilets, and crew members running on 2 days off in 7 months aboard its aircraft carrier. Incompetence is what this is. It's incompetence from the leaders. Incompetent. And absolutely uncalled for. If we are having this big of issues with a little country called Iran, imagine the issues we would have on an actual near peer. Yes, Tony, and negligence. Yep, you nailed it right there. They just don't care. That's a lot of it. They don't care. Now, we've done destroyed our aircraft carrier. Which one is the Bush, wasn't it, Tony? The one that caught fire. Now it's in port, and it's in a 9. It's going to have to spend 9 months at least in port to get fixed and cost us billions of dollars. Because the sailors, yep, the Ford, the sailors got tired and they sabotaged it so they could go home. And I would not be, I'm expecting something happen here with Abraham Lincoln so that way they can go home. Yeah, Tony, that fire was intentional. They didn't have no toilets. They was having to poop in buckets. Their laundry rooms was broke. And now the same thing has happened with Abraham Lincoln. The toilets are broken, moldy showers, and no soap.
Abraham Lincoln is now at its ninth. There's really two things. The first is Donald Trump's general disdain, in particular for Donald Trump, our service members. He's called them suckers and losers. He says he likes people who don't get caught, don't get captured by the enemy. This is a man who can't wrap his brain around the very notion that people would serve, they would sacrifice, they would give something beyond themselves. He cannot comprehend that thought. So that's the first piece. The second is this is what happens when you stumble into, or when you enter into, they didn't stumble into it. He chose this war without a plan, no strategy, no idea for how they were going to rotate ships through. And now we see the results of that. Our service members are suffering. We don't have adequate supplies to defend the airspace around our bases. The USS Abraham Lincoln is now at its 9th month at sea. 5 of those months have been engaged in combat operations. And the strain on our service members and their families is just building week by week. There's really two.
You should have audio. And now we're seeing all of this today. And also, Tony, I don't know if you've heard or not, but Russia. Media reports that NATO was involved in direct strikes on Russia and have obtained evidence. Tony. And now, after this comes out, all these flights. It looks like spaghetti today around Kaliningrad. Folks, Russia is fixing to go through the gap. They're going to try to cut the Baltics off. The BRICS plan is working out perfectly right now with Iran and us. It's not true that NATO was involved in direct strikes. Russia is using this as a false flag, Tony. But since now that we have depleted our ammunition, and we know that we're depleted because I'll get into that here in a little bit. Now Russia is going to make their moves. Hang on just a minute, folks. All right, folks, I'm back. Sorry about that. Oh, but yeah. The U.S. Treasury Secretary has stated the Strait of Hormuz is never going back to the way it was because if Iranians have used or tried to use, they haven't tried, they have used it as a choke point. And they have succeeded at using it as a choke point. He's saying the Strait is going to become irreverent over the next few years. That's just not true. Do you know that Saudi Arabia, all imports to the U.S., has fell to zero for the first time in 40 years? We was importing around 800,000 barrels a day. We need that all because that is heavy crude. Our refineries are set up to refine heavy crude. We are not set up to refine the crude that we produce, which is sweet, light crude. And whoever set our refineries up to refine foreign oil is the most stupidest person ever. We've had an insane crash in the US dollar Japan and the dollar index. US Japan has dropped from 158 to 156 in a single 15-minute candle. The dollar index fell from 99.9 to 99.4 in the exact same candle. The dollar is being sold everywhere. U.S. jobs report just came in negative, with the economy losing 23,000 jobs. It was expected to gain 85,000 jobs, but we lost 23. So that's over 100,000 job difference. Yep. Capped everywhere. That killed the case for the Fed rate hike. The lower U.S. rate expectations mean lower returns on holding dollars, so traders are selling them. I guess I want to show you this graph. It's just wild. Look at this graph, folks. Zoof. We've got some data being exchanged back and forth. Oh, wow. We just had a 1.8 magnitude earthquake in eastern Kentucky, not far from me. Now, folks, something I find very interesting, which I'm going to pull it up here and show you. If you look at, well, that's not showing it. But it was right here. See, I'm right over here. Up in here today, on my other screen, I can see that we've had one. This was a 2.1 at 15:39 Universal Time. We had a 2.3 at 14:32, a 2.1 at 15:32, which was an hour difference, 14:32 and 15:32. And then we had a 2.5 at 15:54, and we've had a 2.1 at 15:46. Then we had a 2.3 at 15:41 Universal Time. All in this area right in here. I don't think I've ever seen that many earthquakes in this area right in here in one day. So that tells me stuff is moving, and we might start seeing some activity out here in the Strait. We have an EAM coming in. It's got that data over top of it, that data. That is not a Russian OTH. They sound different. Yep. Okay, folks, I just posted a video and a link. I need to redo that, folks. Just a second. Take this video here link. This shows you that link to the YouTube video shows you what all our Discord consists of and how to become a member. So check that video and then the link underneath of it to buy me a coffee is how you join. And also for the folks over here on Rumble, we're going to be setting up a locals account to where you can become a member over here on Rumble and get access to our Discord instead of having to just go through Coffee Club. I think that might help. So I will be doing that after the stream today. You sign up, become a member on Rumble, and you can also go to Rumble and gift memberships. We really need your all's help, folks, to be able to keep on doing this. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know how I'm going to be able to make it, honestly. I need your all's help. I went and ground some stumps out yesterday, 9 stumps. And I can't walk today. I'm hurting so bad I can't walk. Yeah. U.S. Secretary says we have them by the throat. They've got 150 to 180% food inflation, not able to pay for troops on Iran. He's speaking about Iran. Folks, that's not true. EAM. Also, we've got air alerts in Ukraine. But yep, this thing on Iran that our U.S. Secretary has said now is the biggest bunch of BS I've ever read. He's saying that energy prices should come down. But we have them by their throat, he said. And they've got 150 to 180% food inflation, not able to pay their troops. I think shortly, maybe even today, tomorrow. Love it. Shortly, maybe even today, tomorrow, we're going to see an agreement. A 30 to 60 day ceasefire. Really? A 30 to 60 day ceasefire. Like, come on. Yep, Matt, he is. Oh. He even made the face that one makes when you tell an enormous lie. I'll post a link to that. You all can check it out. I do not recall that there, Tony. Y'all hit that thumbs up, please. Trump says gasoline has been around for 1,000 years. Can't even talk for the EAMs. Pouring the rain here, folks. I'm waiting for his EAM to quit. All right. I think that's all about EAM. Trump says gasoline was invented around 1,000 years ago. Folks, the first working gas motor was 1879. That was invented by Carl Benz. Gasoline wasn't widely used until 1911. It's 115 years ago. Trump has said that gasoline has been around for 1,000 years. It's another. I don't know why. Just why? With the lies, just. Why does he want to make up stuff? I just don't understand. Uh, well, his one teacher said he was the most stupidest person he's ever taught. So, and then former Japanese prime minister said, "But you cannot correct him. He will throw a tantrum like a 3-year-old." So that makes sense. Trump admits the Strait of Hormuz is not safe. Finally, vessels remain vulnerable to Iranian fire and mines, and shipping companies are unwilling to risk billions of dollars in assets and then be struck by Iran. Trump has finally acknowledged that Iran retains the ability to strike at will, saying it's easy for them to send a drone or two, drop a mine, or deliver a close-range missile somewhere along or in this waterway, no matter how badly defeated they are. He always has to put how badly defeated they are. Iran is not badly defeated, you all. If they have a capability of reopening these tunnels in less than 12 hours, they're not defeated. The United States has sold euros to buy Japanese yen without telling the ECB, that is the European Central Bank, until after the trade was already done. Senior ECB officials call it an unprecedented breach of long-standing convenience conversations. One said this has never happened before. Selling dollars to defend the yen would have contradicted Besant's strong. I'm going to let my AI read this. So let me get this pulled up here just a minute.
The United States sold euros to buy yen without telling the ECB until after the trade was done. Senior ECB officials called it an unprecedented breach of long-standing conventions. One said, "This has never happened before. Selling dollars to defend the yen would have contradicted selling euros, a European asset to defend an Asian currency to protect an American bond market, without selling. The United States sold euros to buy yen without telling the
Sorry, I
ECB
had an
until after the
audio
trade
issue.
was done. Senior ECB officials called it an unprecedented breach of long-standing conventions. One said, "This has never happened before." Selling dollars to defend the yen would have contradicted Besant's strong dollar policy. Selling euros avoided that problem. But selling a European asset to defend an Asian currency to protect an American bond market, without consulting the institution whose asset was sold, is not a currency intervention. It is the reserve architecture consuming the alliance architecture. The reason Washington intervened at all is the part nobody wants to say plainly. Japan is the largest foreign holder of U.S. treasuries. The yen was at its weakest since 1986. If the yen falls far enough, Japanese institutions sell their most liquid foreign asset to raise cash. That asset is treasuries. The selling pushes American yields higher at the exact moment the 30-year just touched 5.28%. Washington did not intervene to help Japan. Washington intervened to prevent the Treasury market from absorbing a forced seller at a 19-year high in yields. The convention that was broken to execute this trade is the same kind of convention the reserve confiscation broke in 2022. That one taught central banks their dollar reserves were not safe from seizure. This one taught the ECB that dollar system cooperation is not safe from unilateral action by its architect. Both lessons point the same direction: build the alternatives faster. The fix is eating the architecture it was built to preserve.
And there you have it. Why are we doing stuff like this without notifying Europe? It's not that hard to pick up the phone and say, hey, we're going to do this. It's not that hard to pick up a phone, folks. Look at that black cloud in the camera up there in the top right. That is wild looking. Elon has declined Ukraine's latest request to expand Starlink's military role, warning it could escalate the war and telling Kyiv it's time to make a deal. Oh. I guess it's Russia that needs to make the deal. It's as simple as this: Russia goes back across their border. It ends. If Ukraine quits fighting, Ukraine ceases to exist. And this administration is doing everything they can to collapse Ukraine. Everything they can. And the next one will really make you laugh. A journalist says, are you aware that Russia has intensified its attacks on civilian targets? Does this concern you? Trump says, listen, We are not involved in this in general, and an ocean separates us. North reporter says North Korea ballistic missiles are already being fired at Ukrainian cities, while North Korea troops are reportedly training in Russia. Um, this contradicts what he's doing with Iran. Trump says, we have an ocean that separates us. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We should got a big ocean that separates us from Iran, which is Iran is farther away from us than Ukraine is. Let me tell you, that little ocean is not as big as you think it is. This is just ridiculous. Here is Trump's relationship with radical Islam. Um, Dar Global, the international luxury arm of Saudi developer Dar Al Arkin, has extensive co-branding partnership with Trump Organization to build high-end real estate, golf courses, and hotels across the Middle East. Um, he's got it in Saudi Arabia, 10 billion, Dubai, Oman. He's got commercial nature. Executives from DAR Global, the Trump Organization, including Eric Trump, have started the partnership operates purely on standard commercial license, co-branding, and management fees. Got economic goals. He loves it. Trump Tower and Ratted High. I mean, we've got all kinds of Trump Towers over there, and a lot of them has Islam branding. I'm going to let you all listen to this. This is the list.
Trump Tower Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Trump Tower Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Trump Plaza Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Trump International Golf Club Wadi Safar, Saudi Arabia. Trump World Golf Club Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Trump International Golf Club, Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Trump International Hotel and Tower, United Arab Emirates. Trump International Golf Club Samaisma, Qatar. Trump Signature Villas Ida, Oman.
Hang on, I'm doing some more digging into this. We're going to look up this guy's name. Dar Al Arkin. I'm looking into some stuff here, folks. Just bear with me. I'm doing this on the run while we're live. This guy's this Dar Al Arkins. The company routinely funds its large-scale development projects and debt management through conventional Sharia law compliant corporation bonds, known as SUKUK. Um, but anyway, there is some little ties to some funding here. Anyway, we're going to move on. You all can do your own research into it, to where you want to do. But some of his hotels over there. In the Middle East. A gold plaque featuring Islamic phrasing, Allah, in the name of Allah, the Most Gracious, was installed at the founding stone of the Trump International Golf Club in Wadi Safar in Saudi Arabia. Trump brand international real estate projects and golf developers in the Middle East has often incorporated local or traditional Islamic dietary warden original cornerstones or plaques. I find that kind of interesting. But anyway, we're going to move on from this. Shelly, all you got to do is go over there and the second page. On the coffee club, you will find the link to the Discord membership. If anybody has any future problems with Discord, please send me an email first before coming in and chat and saying stuff, please. That's all you got to do. Send me an email. DuramaxWorldNews@gmail.com. It's underneath our videos. There's also another email, Duramax895@gmail.com. The Coffee Cub does have an option to message me through Coffee Club. And be sure when you all sign up that you use your same name in Coffee Club as you do Discord. But sometimes it is on the members' end too, because occasionally people get logged out and people, when you have updates done, it can kicks you. I've been kicked from it. But you just got to go back in, get that link in Coffee Club, and you can rejoin. That's all you got to do. Get the link through Coffee Club. It's in there on the second page, and you can rejoin. Let's see here. This is what I got sent to me. Forget it. I'm not going to go into this, but I'm done. Blah 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 blah. But drop it. Let's move on. I'm not just talking about you. I've had other people come in and say all kinds of stuff too. So, but yep, if anybody has any issues whatsoever, please email me or message me through Coffee Club. I check my emails, try to twice a week. If I don't respond to you immediately, I'll get to you. Spain has imposed border controls for Italy after Rome refuses to lift border curbs. Interesting, but Spain has imposed border controls for Italy. Hexdef has shared an article saying that Trump won the Iran war. No, he has not won the Iran war. Fox Business revisions for June down by 37,000. May down by 66,000. Combined, 103,000 fewer jobs created in the months of May and June. And they were supposed to be 85,000 jobs created last month, and we came in at losing 23,000. So almost 100,000 job difference. The markets didn't like that too much. All right, Jill. But yep, just go in there and re-sign up. That's all you got to do. The link is on the second page of Post tab to join the Discord. We got a typhoon that has hit Okinawa, Japan, with fierce winds and dangerous conditions. Evacuation orders issued for nearly 260,000 people, plus 500 flights was canceled. This was 16 hours ago. Wow. Post link in here to that. Y'all can check that out. We've got strong winds flipped a semi near Maxfield Township, Iowa, moments ago. Let's see here. A federal appeals court has just ruled that Trump's proposed White House ballroom cannot be built without congressional approval, affirming an injunction blocking the construction. The D.C. court said Congress has not given executive branch authority to dramatically redesign, reshape, and reconstruct the White House, the People's House. The ruling is said for 14 days to allow an appeal to the Supreme Court. Well, it's kind of too late for that because it's already been torn down. And construction has restarted. Of course, we know Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey has signed a defense agreement. Goodness, what a clap of thunder. Shook the house. And again, the bottom right-hand side of the screen, folks. This came, all these flights. Look at this big bowl of spaghetti. Look at all this stuff. All of this happened right after the Russian news said they have credible evidence of NATO that has, how does it word it? let me. Russian media reports that NATO was involved in direct strikes on Russia and have obtained evidence. Creekwalker, I'm done with you. Just go on somewhere. I'm not rude. Good God, dude. Act like that. Go on somewhere. Anybody in here can tell you I've helped everybody out as any way as possible over the course of the last 5 years. Plus, you always have something to say against what I say anyway. So, yeah. Trump says China sells wind turbines, but they don't use them. They have one that is big. It doesn't work. It's just for purposes of show. They're not very smart. I would love to know where he makes up this stuff from. I can't find it. If you go here and look, let me pull up Coffee Club. A minute. It's on the second page. It says Discord link. Just a second. You go over here to the post tab. Let me go to here. Go here to the post tab. Post. Second page. Right here. Discord link. Do not share. You just click on that and then click on that link. And it'll take you right into the Discord. It's on the second page of the post tab. You go to page 2. And it's right here. It was posted on July 8th. U.S. intelligence has confirmed a drone found with explosives on Lingsing, or whatever airport. It's that one over there in the United Kingdom. No, it was in Germany. Let me confirm this just a second. Yeah, it was in Germany. At the Leipzig airport. Was from Russian intelligence services. A confirmation that Russia is trying to attack critical infrastructure at the heart of NATO territory. Told y'all, but it was Russian. And, well, turns out that U.S. intelligence, United States intelligence, has now confirmed the drone down on the run of the airport. Uh, I don't understand either, Shelly. Here, I got told that. Let's see here. If you're in Discord, you're good. I don't really know. I wasn't here yesterday. I really not for sure what all happened. I'm just going off of what it was relayed to me. Are you Dolly Oz in Coffee Club? I didn't yell at nobody in Coffee Club. This could be a completely different Shelley. I'm just going on what I was relayed to me and what Charlie has been saying to you. And any post that has been made into Coffee Club was sent to everybody. I'm not in audio in Coffee Club. So I don't understand what you're saying there on that. Now you're in here, then it's a different Shelley. So Charlie has got everybody mixed up here. Here's what I got told. Here's what was sent to me. Um, this is forget it. I guess they overlooked me coming in from Buy Me a Coffee and two mods to help me with my testimony. I don't even want to try anymore. I paid for Duramax to keep me in my Discord. He must have lost or deleted me. I'm done. And some other stuff was said, but I'm not going to say here in chat. And Charlie said, "Hey, bub, can you check on Shelly's subscription to Coffee Club?" I haven't. I told him I haven't deleted Shelly. But it's a different Shelly that has came in and done this. And Charlie and everybody has got Shelly's mixed up. Because I see you in Coffee Club and in Discord. You're Shelly T. I see you. So this is a completely different Shelly. And Charlie's got everything all. I haven't criticized you. Everything is. This has been in a big mix-up. Ben, the person that came in here that was Shelley too. That Charlie has got mixed up with you. Said some pretty bad stuff. And what I'm going off of that has been sent to me to relay back is Shelley too. So it's not my fault here. So I will have a word here with Charlie to figure this whole mess out. This is why I don't like working off of whatever people say. See, I wasn't here yesterday. I had a job that I had to go do. And this other Shelley came in here and started a giant stink because she's saying that she had been kicked off of Discord. Well, turns out yesterday I figured out this Shelley that I'm talking about had canceled her membership a day before anyway. Yep, you're good. And came in here and started a big stink. And Charlie has got you mixed up with this other Shelley that started all this yesterday. I'm just going on about what is said, and you came in here earlier when you first came in and said, what was it here? So I thought you said I didn't come to you first because I don't know. See, I thought that you are the one that done this. It's a giant miss up in communication is what this has been. Yep. So Charlie had messaged you thinking you was the Shelley that came in here and done all this. But this Shelley that I'm talking about came in and started a big stink. And turns out she had canceled her membership a day before. And then said she couldn't get into Discord. I'm talking to Charlie right now. And Charlie's AC just went out. Oh no, that ain't good. He's like, what? Another Shelley? What happened? Yeah, this is another Shelley. We're looking for a Shelley Donkey. Is the one I'm looking for. Well, Shelley, I do a lot of that because I want my voice to be heard when I send out something that I have repeatedly talked about in Discord and people are still not doing. I have I've said this probably a dozen times now in Discord to go back, use the same name you use in Discord as Coffee Club, and nobody's listening. So I sent a mass message out in capital letters. That way it could be interpreted as something that needs to be done. And if you look through my page, I use a lot of capital letters. Um, Rodney, it is a false flag. Like I have been saying for a while, Russia is going to do some false flags here. So they can use the false flags as jurisdiction to attack NATO. Yeah, I don't know either. Let's move on. Kick back and watch. It's been a mess up in communications. It's the reason why I don't like going off what other people say or stuff that gets relayed back to me. And yeah. But yeah, Russia is going to use this. This is a false flag. Oh. Well, it's a big mix up then. Let's go on here. I'm reconnected on Discord. I've got told a bunch of stuff, so let's move on here. Let's see here. So I'm confused as everybody else is right now about what is going on with all this. I haven't yelled at nobody, Shelly. Chinese intelligence believes Israel's Mossad may be behind the Spain magnet crisis, aiming to punish Spain over its opposition to the Iran war and refusal to allow the use of Spanish bases for U.S. military aircraft. Hmm, interesting. I knew that it wasn't you that came in here. A Shelley did, though. Uh, he's saying, but I don't know. I'm as confused as everybody else. Trump has used the Iran war as an excuse to leave early today at the American Mining and American Jobs conference.
I was going to have so many people, I'll be here all day. If you could go quickly, I would appreciate it because we have a war to prosecute, okay? That's my excuse for getting out of here a little bit early. But I've done my thing only in the sense that we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars and even billions of dollars in
The Asians are getting very scared. $200 billion has been wiped out from the Japanese and Korean markets today. The Korean markets are down. The KOSPI is down 3%, and the Japan Nikkei is down 1.5%. Suddenly, the White House ballroom has a new name after a federal appeals court panel found that Trump demolished and built something at the White House without authorization or funding from Congress. Trump is calling it the military center now. This was in the Asian markets today. Yep, Trump is now calling the new ballroom the military center. He's saying two Obama and Biden appeal court judges just voted against the desperately needed military center required for national security of Washington, D.C. and our country. Itself, highly respected Judge Nemo stated the following key points, among others, is strongly worded dissent. I don't have the full post. Yep, he's calling it the military center now instead of a ballroom. U.S. intelligence is saying that Russia is planning a attack, or a potential attack on NATO to test its strength. This comes after Russia says that NATO was involved in direct strikes on Russia. So now Russia is planning, it's not potential, we know it's going to happen, an attack on NATO. U.S. intelligence is now saying. So United States intelligence is now saying that Russia is planning a potential attack to test its strength on NATO. My timeline looks to be correct. It's going to happen this fall/winter. And like I've laid out a few times, they're going to go for the gap. And if I was Russia, I would not touch Poland at all. I wouldn't touch them. If Russia touches Poland, that would be the biggest mistake Russia will ever make. If they take the gap, stay on the Lithuania side of the gap, move some tactical nukes in on the Lithuania side as they take this gap, and tell Poland, if you try this, try to come through here, we will use these tactical nukes. And when Poland does, they, you know what, with a tactical nuke, and Russia would pretty much end up with Baltics without much of a fight. That's just what I think. But we know that Russia's, it's not potential. We know it's going to happen here on this channel, along with Lee's channel. We see the intel. We know the flight paths. We know where the troops are being moved to. Russia is not building 94 new military sites on Europe's eastern border, or refurbish them and equip them with tactical nuclear weapons and additional air defense systems for nothing. This is just not how this works. You just don't do this for nothing. Russia's going to use these sites to attack the Baltics. The original plan was to take Ukraine and then go and mobilize everybody in Ukraine and use all of Ukraine's equipment against NATO. That was the original plan. And if Ukraine doesn't get some air defense missiles, Ukraine's not going to be able to hold out forever. And this administration over here we got is starving Ukraine of air defense missiles. We have not sent Ukraine $300 billion worth of nothing, worth of stuff. Majority of the stuff we sent to them was older equipment that we was going to have to pay to dispose of. In 5 months, the federal deadline to stop buying Chinese rare earths and rare earth magnets expires. Despite tens of billions of dollars in support, the U.S. isn't anywhere near self-sufficient enough to meet its own domestic needs. The funny part is that Reuters article suggests Trump will most likely need to waive the deadline, while China continues banning exports of rare earths and military equipment applications. By allowing China to dominate an industry its own military and tech schedule rely on, the U.S. has now put itself in a rather precarious position. Reshoring is a matter of national security and U.S. livelihood. We have to do it. But it's going to be higher. Sorry, folks, I'm tired. But it will be highly inflationary and take much longer than anticipated. We've got two Florida. So here's something kind of interesting. I find this very interesting here. Two Florida sheriff's offices have quietly bought Meta smart glasses for officers in the past year. Broward County Sheriff and Okeechobee County Sheriff. When asked how officers are using them, the sheriff's office spokesperson declined to answer. Interesting. I would not be surprised if this data that these smart glasses are recording is not being sent back to train AI at AI data centers. Now, just hear me out here a minute. They need footage to train these AIs. And they would be no better footage than footage from cops themselves to train AI agents in law enforcement techniques and um, how to process people's, what's the word I'm looking for, facial expressions when they're upset, sad, mad, etc. Does that make sense? How I'm trying to lay this out? Rumble chat, YouTube chat, does that make sense? Folks, I am going to stick up a little bit of lead for just a minute. I need to get up and walk around. I'm so stiff now that I can't move.
Yes, you can tell that NATO is interested in what's going on with what we're seeing off the coast and what they're doing there. I mean, this has been all day. The sun is going down, and we've got persistent surveillance over Kaliningrad all day. That means something, folks. That means something. Thank you, Hey Nay. My goal here is just to teach you what I know. The way I look at it, I spent billions of your taxpayer dollars to get my education, and the least I can do is share with you what I can legally share with you that I learned from spending your money. That's okay if they come in late. All that matters is that they get here.
The beatings will continue until morale improves.
It's going good. Yeah, you're right. Nothing like it is today. One EAM and one repeat. Heavy jamming on 8992. Yeah, they were doing that. Yeah, we had people complaining about that last night. And I'm like, guys, I'm not the one that's generating the noise. That's the Ruskies. I know some of you do like the beatings. No, it's more than spooked. He declared a Mayday, 7,700, I think it is what it was that he declared, and flew out of there. Yeah, he hit 7,700 and hauled ass. Yeah, he could be flying closer to Kaliningrad. All right, I appreciate it, Easy. And I need to share this out over. All right, about time, Burn Notice. Share this out everywhere, folks. Everybody needs to share this out. All right, let's see. One more time? No. There's two for good measure. Yep, so we're going to keep tracking this for you in real time. We got the EAMs that are going to be coming in. We've got all the maps coming up. And tell your husband not to get mad at me. He's the one that married you. Just remember, when he gets out of line, you just tell him,
Silence! I kill you!
What Jewish master? What are you talking about? I'm making my Jewish master excited.
What are you people? On dope?
Where do these people come from? Well, no, they're not going to whip us, but I'm going to whip you. I don't have a Jewish master. So go put your propaganda somewhere else. We don't allow lies and inaccurate information in our chat or on our stream. Well, I'm glad I was at least able to get him to smile. I'm sure you can make him do more than that, but we're not going to get into that. That's right, and these people vote. That's how you got Biden. That's all right, Dark, I got him. That's right, the markets close at 4, so we're going to see just another 2.5 hours. 2 hours, 26 minutes if you want to be anal like some people.
You're listening to Lee for a minute. This was a stream he started a few hours ago, so letting you know.
Yeah, this is concerning, folks. This is the fact that they've been doing this for days on end, and we had a aircraft declare, was it 7,700 is what he squawked? He went red. Anytime, music. Lithuania intelligence reports that Russia may test critical infrastructure with drones. Do you have a source for that?
They are already testing critical infrastructure with drones in Germany.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the B-52s unless they're moving. It's when it hits the fan and the B-52s take off. No, it wasn't a refueler. It was a surveillance aircraft, an RC, not a KC. KC's got go-go. RC is reconnaissance. So it was an RC-135W rivet joint belonging to the UK. The Royal Air Force. And we've still got a P-8 out there off the coast hammering it hard. 7,700. And 7,700 is what? There's two. There's a 7,600 and a 7,700. What is 76 and what is 77? One of them is like I lost my radios, and the other is like, oh shit.
7,700 is a general emergency.
What the hell was that?
Moment.
7,700 is a general emergency.
Yeah, I don't listen to the Drudge Report. I watched several of his broadcasts, and he hasn't an airy clue as to what's really going on in the world. 7,700 is emergency, so it was an emergency. It wasn't just a... And I thought I wanted to verify that. I was fairly certain that 7,700 was an emergency. And that's why we're here. But I appreciate you verifying that. What's RF stand for? 8136. Well, the market's closing would be both. It would open up the window of opportunity for the U.S. to go deliver some to the Iranians. And since the market is closed, it would be the opportunity for the Russians to do something as well. Yes, David, it does look like things are getting real serious real fast. Something's going on. We got too many test counts going on. There's too many test counts going on. There's way too many test counts going on. Hear that? There's too many test counts going on. Yes, Putin does believe that NATO is weak. I think that thank you for the donation there, music. I think that the Russians are preparing, and the folks in Poland and in NATO, right, another test count. These are bad signs, folks. These are all bad signs. Everything we're seeing, there's nothing here that's a good sign. 7 drones up. RC-135 declares an emergency and hauls ass for the UK. A P-8 comes in and is doing persistent surveillance right now, both southwest of Kaliningrad as well as now all.
Alright, I'm back. I had to take just a little minute to walk around. Let's see here. Interesting. Last night, 2 unknown drones with a 4-meter wingspan were flying around the German military bases in Crunch are among the most sensitive. Interesting. So we've got another report now out of Germany of where drones have flew around a base where Patriot Air Defense Repair Hub is stationed. Very interesting why they would pick the Patriot Air Defense Repair Hub. I find this interesting. Well, what we're going to do a little bit right here is I want to show you. There is the 2 dots. Now, this first dot up in here, no, maybe it was this one. It was one of these 2. I can't remember. It's where the drone was found at the airport, where an armed drone, only by luck, failed to blow up a plane with ammo at the airport. And last night, 2 unknown drones with 4-meter wingspan was flying around the Patriot Air Defense Repair Hub in Germany. Very, very, very Interesting. I'm going to show you now what I want to do right here. This is the area. This is the overview of the area where we know it was Russian. There was no possibility there. Russian drones were spotted last night. There you go. This is the Patriot Maintenance Facility down here. This is a defunct. This is out, no longer there. But it was a Cold War air defense site. Here's the ammunition depot. It's got 100 ammo bunkers. This is the German Pentagon. This is the EDDK Airport. Hosts multiple M330 Merit and German government A350 planes. And this is the ETNN. This is the largest Eurofighter base, a large Eurofighter base. Oh, there you have it. And they was drones spotted flying around here last night. When is NATO going to say enough is enough? When is NATO going to say enough is enough? Yeah, Great Fawn. They're getting a really good look. Yeah. U.S. Intel's even saying that Russia is fixing to attack NATO. This comes after Russia says Russia has information that NATO was behind a missile attack on Russia. Now, these drones that spotted last night, did they have explosives on them? Who knows? Who knows? Now, NATO is going to mess around here, and NATO is going to be attacked by in a big way. Is what's fixing to happen. And U.S. Intel says that the drone that was discovered at the airport in Germany this week was operated by the Russian government. And now, days later, we have more drones flying around in Germany around sensitive military bases with a 4-meter wide wingspan. Now, folks, these drones are coming from the Russian Shadow Fleet that is positioned off the coast. This is exactly where these drones is coming from. And that was emitted a few months ago, but that's where all these drones was coming from. That Russia was using its shadow tankers to launch the drones from. Okay, here's what's inside the explosive drone found at the Leipzig Hell Airport. Wherever. It's an airport in Germany. And the details make the incident even more unsettling. German authorities report the drone carried 2 SIM cards for redundant remote control, a canned food container that was repurposed as an explosive charge, custom wiring, and mounts designed to bypass airport security systems. This wasn't a toy, it was a cheap, low signature weapon engineered to look harmless and stay controllable even under signal disruption. Investigators say the setup is professional planning, not a hobbyist, and that someone was testing how close they could get to a NATO logistics hub without being detected. Well, they got within feet from the plane. They got within feet from that plane. Wow, where did everybody go? It was 30 in here, and all of a sudden, phew, is you boo fudging numbers today again? Have we started the number fudging on this channel? Very interesting. Now we're climbing back up. Interesting.
Like this guy.
What does that say?
I want to talk to the Trump supporters. I don't know who you are. I don't know why you like this guy.
Lindsey Graham.
Whatever he does, he accuses everyone else of it.
Ted Cruz.
Cannot tell the truth, but he combines it with being a narcissist. A narcissist.
I'm going to give you all this link to check out. This is exact quotes from like Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, Kellyanne Conway, Glenn Beck, Rick Perry. Of course, we know, I spoke about this earlier, the largest mortgage lender in the U.S., United Wholesale Mortgage Lender, plummeted 35% today. Their stock plummeted 35% today after reporting massive quarter 2 2026 net loss of $451.9 million and suspending its common dividend. Yep. But this economy is not going to be nothing like the 2008 Lehman collapse. It's going to be in the 1930s type of market crash, except it's going to be worse than the 30s, and it's not going to be just the United States. Wow. The Trump administration is going to pay the German energy company RWE $1.2 billion to cancel its U.S. offshore wind projects. I got an idea, folks. Won't we take this $1.2 billion and inject it into Social Security or Medicaid instead of paying this company to cancel its U.S. offshore wind projects? Why are we paying over $1 billion to a German fund just so they will halt their offshore wind projects? off the U.S. coastline. We all know that Medicaid, Social Security is having big funding issues, and they're not going to last forever because of the people that has ran Congress, past presidents, and this president, and other House members, etc., stealing funds. Well, it's been documented, but they're taking funds from these programs and putting them in other stuff. There was a fund, if I recall right, don't hold me to this, but during COVID, there was a fund that they pulled, I forget how much money out of, like, I think it was Medicaid for a little pet project they had. I can't remember. Like I said, that's been like 5 years ago or 6. And now we're spending over $1 trillion this year on our military budget. And we can't even rotate ships right in the Middle East. So that way our sailors can come home and take a break that has been employed for 6 months straight without working toilets and moldy showers and no soap. Are you serious? We're spending over $1 trillion and we have no flipping soap on our aircraft carriers. And the toilets don't work. Where is this money going? Where is it going? Well, here's 1.2 billion of it, of something, some kind of fund, is being paid to cancel an U.S. offshore wind project by a German energy company. Poofed into thin air. $1.2 billion. We've got blooming idiots running this place. Blooming idiots. $1.2 billion. The more I see, the more I get peed off. Uh Oh, now our U.S. Treasury Secretary is wanting the Fed to print money to intervene in the Japanese yen because he already spent all the Treasury's foreign exchange reserves earlier. Imagine that. The U.S. barely owns any foreign exchange because of its issues of the world's reserve currency as general doesn't have to intervene in its own currency. But now the U.S. physical situation has deteriorated to such a degree that Japan cannot be allowed to sell their holdings. Yes, we are to that point. So we're going to have to print more money. Oh, here you go. Police with nug-nugs drawn stop a driver along I-94. But it turns out they had the wrong person, all because of a mistake involving flock cameras. Now, because of a mistake involving flock cameras, this innocent person was pulled over with nug-nugs drawn on them.
I-94 in Waukesha County, officers with guns drawn and a passenger sticking their hands out the window. Police pulled over the car after a flock camera flagged it again for Milwaukee homicide. But when Brookfield police called Milwaukee, Milwaukee said they no longer needed the car or the people inside, so officers let them go. That's according to Brookfield police. We did.
Now, folks, that about sounds like a lawsuit to me. Anyway, I've got some more information on these drone flights last night. What I want to do is I want to come over here to a page that we're not using. Where's everybody at? 13 in here and 5 over on Rumble. Come on, folks. Share this stream out. Let me a second get this link. Yep, exactly. More inflation. Yay! We just love inflation, don't we? There, Gray Fawn. Huh. Oh, well, let me get this right here, right fast. Profile. I'm going to let my AI because I have trouble pronouncing Germany airports and stuff. So what we're going to do is let the AI read it off here to everybody.
6 suspicious drone flights were observed over the Bundeswehr's Patriot Werft maintenance facility and underground logistics depot in Mechernich between 2200 and 5 o'clock on the night leading into Friday. The Patriot Werft is Europe's sole facility responsible for maintaining and repairing Patriot air defense systems.
Well, there you have it. So there was 6 suspicious drone flights observed. 6 suspicious drone flights in the area that you have on your screen right now. In that area, around all them bases. Very interesting. Pentagon suppliers warn the U.S. won't have a magnet capacity by 2027. A declassified UFO file has exposed an extraordinary U.S. investigation into claims that a unalive spaceman was discovered inside a mysterious metal sphere. Now, this was back in, I'm looking for a date on this, 1963. I can't make this out what it says. What I'll do is I will post a link to this and y'all can check it out. There's a link to that. Y'all can check it out. We got very busy over Hormuz tonight. What we're going to do is, we know about all of this now. Look at that spaghetti around Kaliningrad. Now, I haven't seen this much activity around Kaliningrad in a long time. So there's another one. Yeah. Anyway, let's get out of the playback feature. And we're going to go down here and look over who moves. Look at this, folks. We've got tankers. We got, that's a 5,000. That could possibly be an ISR flight. There's you another tanker. Here's another tanker. Here's another tanker. Here's another tanker. That's a tanker. There's a drone looking over into Syria. That's a Jordan drone. It's a PC-21. That may not be a drone. That ain't a drone. That is a manned aircraft. PC-21. I'm pretty sure a Platypus 21 is a manned platform. Just a second, and I will tell you. Yes, it's an advanced turbo-power military training aircraft. Except this one is not being used for training. That's not training, folks. And that could be, it says Shahed 267, so that could be a drone too. And they're just using that aircraft, the PC-21, as the registration. So that's Shahed 267. So it's really untelling what that is. That's definitely no training. I will give it that. Definitely not training. Now, what we got over here? It's a C-40. Doesn't concern me. There's a lot of stuff going on over here around the Iran tonight. And there is daylight line right in here. That's the daylight line. They've only got a few hours left before daybreak. C-17 flights from Middle East continue. But yeah, that up around Lithuania and Kaliningrad has got my interest perked, especially with what's being said. There you go. So, the Department of Government Efficiency, run by Elon Musk. Let me get this here. I'm going to let my little AI help read this out.
So the Department of Government Efficiency, run by Elon Musk for the Trump crowd, apparently managed to save $110 billion. Except, not really. Turns out the gal couldn't find evidence for most of it. Many of those savings, like terminated leases, were already happening before Doge even got started. That's not efficiency, that's just showing up late to the party and taking credit for the appetizers someone else made. Even better, they claimed $1.7 billion for canceling a Pentagon IT contract, then didn't actually cancel it. That's not a mistake, that's just making numbers up and hoping nobody checks. And when the watchdog tried to figure out how they got to these huge numbers, especially on grant cancellations, Doge just shrugged and said they didn't share their math. Funny how transparency always goes out the window when the numbers don't add up. This is the playbook. Big, splashy claims of saving taxpayer money, a wall of receipts, that's more like a wall of fiction, and then absolutely zero evidence or accountability. And of course, after Doge ceased operations, they just kept right on claiming another $105 billion in phantom savings. It's not about actual efficiency, it's about projecting an image of efficiency while cooking the books, a classic move from that playbook.
Imagine that. So, it was all phantom savings. Like I said here, turns out the GAO couldn't find evidence for most of it. Many of those savings, like terminated leases, was already happening before Doge even got started. Even better, they claimed $1.7 billion for canceling a Pentagon IT contract, then actually didn't cancel it. And then a watchdog tried to figure out how they got these huge numbers, especially on grant cancellations. Doge just shrugged and said they didn't share their math. Funny. Funny, funny, funny. Oh, let's see here. I'm just going to click off of these flights because all they're going to do is keep dropping off. I hate the new update to Flight Radar 24, but they done a while back. It pops up this big stupid thing in the middle of your screen saying flight cannot be found. That is the most stupidest update they have ever done and has absolutely ruined Flight Radar 24. It's useless now because of that stupid thing and it drops off the flight path. It used to stay up. It's the reason why we don't hardly use flight radar anymore and we use ADS-B, even though that sometimes stuff doesn't show up on ADS-B. Let's see here. Ah, I've got some interesting intel, folks. Wow, you boob is really messing with numbers today. A UK P8, all these flights over the Baltic Sea, above and below surface, they was combing for enemy units before command would let the ship Ark Germania leave Karg port for transport of military units across the Baltic Sea. NATO had to do all this before they could let this ship leave the port to transport military units across the Baltic Sea. That is interesting. So they are very worried now about this. There is some information on that. There you go. So I am going to make a phone call right fast. Hi, folks, I'm back. Wow, only 5 in here. What we're going to do with this, we're going to end the YouTube string for today because this really hurts the algorithm when there's only 5 in here watching. It destroys our algorithm standing. So what I'm going to do is post a link over here to Rumble. Y'all get moved over to Rumble. The 5 of you that's still in here, I'm pretty sure that's a fake number anyway. But get moved over to Rumble, and we will keep going from there. So we will see you at Rumble in a minute. See you in a few. I'm going to end the YouTube string.